Welcome to episode 26 of Fergo and the Freak. I'm that bloke from Rugby League Project, Andrew Ferguson. You can find me on Twitter at AndrewRLP. And joining me once again is League Freak, who you can find on Twitter at League Freak. How's Tricks?
Pretty good. I'm not going to mention coffee or that I'm excited for this episode, because I do that every single episode.
And you just did it then.
Damn it.
Better luck next time. Now, obviously, you've got your tail up, mate. The mighty Penrith Panthers come home with a magnificent and glorious display last night to get a victory.
Yeah, I booked my grand final tickets already.
Good man.
We beat one of the heavyweights of the competition, and wow, I mean, it was weird to watch them play with enthusiasm and actually have a dig, but they still missed like 750 tackles, which was a little bit of a downside. So, yeah.
They also, just to put a damper on it as well, I mean, they also had more handling errors despite having less possession.
Yeah, well,
so,
I always think that there are some statistics in the game that don't really count properly, and I think that, handling errors, possession, missed tackles, what do they really mean at the end of the day? I mean, come on now. They're not that important, surely.
Means you need to get better in those areas. That's about it.
Yeah, it's just, I reckon, forget those things. Don't worry about those things. It's like the score. What are we keeping score now? It's just rude.
Well, really, essentially, that's the only stat that matters.
Yeah.
The scoreline is the only stat that is 100% proving who won the game and who didn't.
Yeah, that's true. I always like when you go up 9-0 into a half as well. There's something special about that. And to win with 15 points on the board was fantastic. But yeah, I was happy to get the win. But around State of Origin time, like these wins, they're such trash. They're really such trash. So, but you'll take them, especially the Panthers. It was like, yeah, all right.
Well, to be honest, getting a win scoring 15 points is actually not that easy to do. I did some stats at the start of the year, which said that the score that a team picks, that a team scores at, where that score and every score above it stays above 50% success rate, is 19.
Yeah.
So
wow.
if teams score 19 or more, they're a better than 50% chance of winning the game.
Oh, wow, that's interesting.
So that's the magic score, is to get to 19. So they kicked the field goal.
Yeah,
they were
before
far away.
Yeah, it was interesting because the Maloney field goal kick, it really did look like it missed, but it got over. It was a pretty wonky kick, but it got there. And so, yeah, it's a win's a win. What can you do? They can't all be pretty games, especially if they're Panthers games this year.
To be honest, who doesn't love a wonky, shady-looking field goal? I think they are better than the ones that are hit sweetly.
Same here. When you see them and they're just awful off the boot, but they scrape over the crossbar, they're the best ones.
Absolutely. Now, on to other news. This week we've heard that both Cody Walker and Josh Addo-Carr have said that they will not be singing the national anthem. For some reason, some people got upset. For me, I personally don't care. I'm not one of these. Don't get me wrong, I love Australia, but I'm not one of these jingoist people who, flag waving types that, like the Americans are when it comes to their national anthem and stuff. If they see that as a way to do a protest about their, the plight of their people, I mean, you can't ask for something more peaceful than that on the national stage. So I say go for it if you want to, guys. If it helps something within the society and especially amongst your people, then I say, yeah, absolutely. You got my bloody tick of approval. How about you, mate?
I just don't care at all. Like, do whatever you want. As long as I always think if there's a national anthem on and you can stand for it, just stand for it. That's all you got to do. But yeah, don't sing it. I don't give a shit. You can't say, here's the thing, right? You can't say that Israel Folau should have had the ability to say whatever he wanted to say and then get upset when somebody decides not to say something. And people are doing that. I don't think too many people really care if anybody's not going to sing the national anthem. I think that this is more of a media thing. They would like it to be something, but I honestly believe most people do not care at all. And it's like, if you don't want to sing it, fine. When the national anthems are being sung, I will probably be going and getting a beer out the fridge, or, taking a leak before the game or something. I really do not care who sings it, who doesn't, or what their reasons are. Just go and play footy. I don't care.
It's long been the pre-match intermission break.
Yeah, exactly. It just, it's the biggest non-story ever. I'm not going to sing the national anthem, all right? Who's your roommate? It's just a non-issue. Who cares?
I'm with you. As I said, if they feel it's going to help them out, then I say go for it, because the national anthem is not something that I feel is that deeply entrenched in Australian culture. There's people who are under the age of 40 who may have actually sang "God Save the Queen" at school because we didn't have a national anthem in place. Just let that sink in for a while. It's not that deeply enshrined in the culture, so move on, people. There's nothing.
I'd like to save the word "girt." I think "girt" is a word that we never ever use anymore in society, and I think that we should save the word "girt," if anything.
It's not a bad word.
Yeah, it's awesome. And I don't know any other context to say it in, hey? Like, could you say, wow, my Big Mac is girt by extra sauce? Like, could you say something like that? Like,
I think it'd be girt by the box that it's in.
Okay. So could you
I don't know.
That's the thing. Like, could you go, say you're in the car park and you're walking to your car and there's a trolley is jammed up against the side of your car. Do you go like, my car's been girt by trolley? Like, is that how it works? I'm not really sure. If it's girt by sea, you could be girt by a trolley, couldn't you?
Well, I suppose it's a matter of size differences, perhaps.
Maybe
the trolley was girt by the car.
All right, I've got a better scenario, right? It's actually raining, okay? And you're driving along and you see a marker on the side of the road that says, like, the meter markers on the side of the road, and you look ahead of you and you think, oh, yeah, that's just a puddle. And you drive into it and all of a sudden the water comes up over the front of your bonnet. Could you be like, my car is girt by water? Like, could you say my car is girt by creek?
Yeah, your car is girt by puddle.
Yeah, I think, okay, all right. I'm going to start using girt more.
All right. Well, we'll move on to the next story. And James Roberts was released by Brisbane during the week. Mm-hmm. And within about the 35 seconds afterwards, it was revealed that he'd signed with South for 2.5 years.
Yeah, quick negotiation, hey?
Yeah. Mm. So perhaps we could say that Wayne Bennett was girt by lying.
Well, he bagged the media for because he's a nice bloke, Wayne Bennett. He bagged the media for saying that there was nothing in it and they were making stuff up. And then a couple of weeks later signs James Roberts on a 35-second negotiation. It's an interesting question, because do you want your coach to be good? Like, if they're lying to the fans and stuff like that, and lying, I don't know where you put this, but I don't really care what a coach does as long as they're good.
Yeah, look, I just think, 20 years ago, no one would have given a shit about this anyway.
Yeah.
It's part of the cycle of the news where we need to have something going on about every sport and every topic in the world every single minute, every day.
Yeah.
And this is one of those stories that they've had to sort of semi-create.
Mm-hmm.
And it's created news down the line as well. But I couldn't care less. Mostly because I don't think signing James Roberts, given the form he's in and given the way he's behaved this year, is that great a signing, to be honest.
Yeah, I worry about it that they've invested a lot of money into him. And, I mean, I'm pretty sure he was sacked by Souths many years ago. I could be wrong about that, or he had to move on when he was a junior because of some and look, James Roberts' off-field issues. I don't think that they're anything more than just like maybe disappointing some people. It's not like he's done anything terrible that I can
No,
think
he
of.
just can't. He just gets a bit excited when he gets near alcohol.
Yeah, and don't we all? Like, jeez. But yeah, you know, as you say, he's been playing reserve grade. His form wasn't fantastic. I think he'll add some strike to them, but I agree with you. It's sort of like a media thing where, okay, now he's signed. We wrote about him signing for the Rabbitohs. Now, what's the next story? Oh, let's go and ask Wayne Bennett about why did he tell us that it wasn't going to happen and he rubbished us. It's like, who gives a shit? He's there now,
Yeah.
and that's it. That, get on with it. Write about the game. Write about what's going to actually happen.
But this is the thing. Bennett may have actually spoken to him, 6 weeks ago. And was told then, no, James won't be released. He's perfectly fine and happy here.
Mm-hmm.
And he's gone, oh, fair enough. There's nothing in it then. Moves on.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, an opportunity comes up and James wants to come back to Sydney. He's like, oh, we'll give him a place at South. Okay, then. Shit changes. I mean, that's the basis of rumours and the life cycle and life and stuff changes. It doesn't mean Bennett's an outright liar.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that he isn't either. It's just we don't know the full story.
Yeah,
so
but
we
just
can't go and assume that we do.
But just say it turned out every word out of Craig Bellamy's mouth to the media was a lie. Every single one. Would any Storm fans give a shit?
No.
Exactly.
And would it change his legacy in any way? No.
No. And it's the funny thing about when we were talking about Brad Arthur getting his life contract because he'd actually bumped above 50% for once in his coaching career. And I had somebody say to me, and I don't know who it was, but it was on Twitter, they said, oh, he's well liked by the fans and the media and the players. And I said, would you rather your coach be well liked, or would you rather them be good? And the person didn't reply to me because I think they knew the answer to that. Give me a coach that wins games. I don't care what else they do, as long as it's not something disgusting. Like, just give me a winning coach. I don't want a coach that needs to make friends with everyone. I think the best coaches generally are absolute pricks anyway. I mean, think about the mentality of a person that says, yeah, I can control the will of, 40-plus players to do what I expect them to do. That's not the sort of person you want to be standing next to at a party talking to,
Yeah, and I suppose, given that you're a Panthers fan, I mean, you've seen this in the most brutal way possible, where you have the likable Ivan Cleary replacing the unliked Anthony Griffin as coach there. And we can see, just in the last 12 months, who had the better win record with practically the same squad. So,
yeah, and I said at the time, there was rumours that the players didn't like Anthony Griffin, and they're in fourth place. And it's like, good, he's not your friend, he's your coach.
Yeah. No, fully agree.
This is the agreement episode. We didn't realise this going in.
We'll try and find something to disagree about. Last night, Corey Waddell had a almost inverse headbutt on Liam Martin, where he put his head down to do a full-blooded headbutt, and then pulled Liam Martin's shirt towards him and sort of forced Martin's head to hit his head in the weirdest headbutt I've ever seen. First of all, I want someone to go and show Corey Waddell how to do a headbutt properly, because that was fucking pathetic.
It was a bit pathetic. I mean, even like Martin, just after he gets headbutted, and it was right where you want to headbutt someone, he kind of looks at the referee as if to say, what is this shit?
Yeah.
I thought that was great.
Was this a failed cuddle? Was he trying to give me a kiss on the cheek? I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. Guide me, referee. He wasn't appealing. He didn't get frustrated. He didn't get cranky or spark up like someone who's just been punched. He's just looking around like he was appealing for a penalty. And
because the problem was he'd been penalised himself for what was supposed to be a dangerous tackle, which I didn't think was dangerous at all. He basically picked up, what's his name? Waddell. He picked up Waddell, and he just threw him to the ground. It was a great tackle. He completely dominated him. And for some reason, the players didn't like that around him. And Waddell gets up and grabs him by the jersey and sort of drags him towards his head. And it was it was a weird situation because it shouldn't have been a penalty for the tackle at all. I think the referees overreacted, and I thought the referees last night had a really bad game. I don't normally say that about referees, but there were a couple of decisions last night that were ridiculous. But that happened, and then he kind of gets headbutted, and nothing comes of that. It was a very strange situation. The thing that I saw about the headbutt, I think if Waddell had got up and just put a soft punch on his chin that had the same impact, he would have been sent to the bin for 10. And I think there was definitely intent there to sort of make sure he got contact with his head on Martin. So I kind of expected him to get sent to the bin for 10 and nothing come of it. And I was surprised by that. What did you think when you saw the replay of it? Did you think it was worth 10 in the bin?
I don't know. I just sort of... I saw on Twitter this morning there was people talking about it, and I thought, it must have been something pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
I was getting a lot of divisive chatter. And so I had a look at it.
Yeah.
And
whereabouts did you see it, by the way? What website?
Well, I went... To be honest, I only have one news website that I go to.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know if you've been there, but it's called www.leaguefreak.com.
Oh, sounds good already.
If you haven't checked it out, mate, go in there and have a gander at it. I was looking at it last night for about 2 hours, just looking at... He's got this section on there of lookalikes. Oh, fucking piss funny, mate.
Wow. He sounds like a champion bloke, this person that runs it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I couldn't argue with that. I mean, you can't do that much quality stuff and not be a champion. But yeah, look, with the tackle, I just looked at the tackle and went, it looked like one of those like one of those pro wrestling suplexes, which in pro wrestling everything's done safely, so that gives you a pretty good indication of what that was.
Yeah,
he didn't put his hand between his legs. He didn't spear his head into the ground. He just picked him up off the ground and sort of slammed him on his back.
Yeah,
but it wasn't so much of a slam as sort of a gentle lying down of your child to bed sort of slam.
Jesus,
there was very little malice in it.
I feel like I've got to call someone. What the hell?
There was so little malice or power in it. I just thought, how can that be penalised? And then you see that weird penalty, ducks his head down and then pulls Martin's jumper towards him and forces their heads to knock together in such a gentle manner. I think Eskimos use more force when they kiss each other with their noses. Yeah, and I thought, what the hell is all this? It's like some sort of pathetic like foreplay or some shit. What the fuck is going on? And I'm going, why? First of all, why are people getting so heated about it?
Mm.
And second of all, why were penalties called? I just think, okay, look, Waddell definitely showed intent to deliver a headbutt.
Yeah.
He failed to deliver it because he did everything wrong other than putting his head in the right position.
Yeah.
But you can't have headbutting going on. So I would give him a fine and move on with our lives. The tackle that Martin did, that does not deserve to be penalised or put on report. That was a good one-on-one tackle. That should never have been penalised. We should have just moved on from there.
100%. And look, he did no damage with his headbutt. We saw that. But I probably would have been happy to see him go to the 10 in the bin just for being stupid. You know, it was just
to watch videos of how to do it properly for 10 minutes.
Yeah,
go and sit down and look at how stupid you were with your attempted headbutt, and then go and watch someone deliver the thing properly, and come out and try again.
Yeah, you got to watch the Poms do it because the Poms know the power comes from your lower back in the headbutt.
Yeah,
and you grab the front of someone's shirt, and the power all comes from the back. And it's got to go through
your spine, up through your forehead, and directly through that bridge between the eyes.
Yeah, and you're not aiming for the front of their face; you're aiming for the back of their skull when you put it in.
That's exactly right. You want to put your head through their head.
Yes. And I 10 in the bin. It wasn't the hugest thing. I don't think he should get like 8 weeks or anything stupid for it, but he deserves a slap on the wrist and kind of told, don't be stupid next time.
Yeah.
Because it was just stupid.
Perhaps get him to wear a placard that says on there, I'm a moron who doesn't know how to do a headbutt properly, and he has to wear that around Penrith and Manly for like
That would be
2
good.
weeks.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
I'd like that. That'd be the perfect scenario, actually.
There needs to be more public shaming for stupid acts.
Yeah, imagine if that was one of the things, like you had to wear a sign around your neck that said, I was drinking and driving without a license, stuff like that.
Yeah.
That would
Just
be
just
fantastic.
just a simple message. I'm a stupid moron. Ask me why.
Yeah.
And so he has to tell everyone all the time.
Yeah, well, I tend to think that's what a Manly jersey signifies anyway, but that's just my personal point of view.
Yeah. No, that was it was one of the weirdest interactions I've seen in a game of footy in a while. It's up there with I think there was a brawl that went on between the Dragons and Bulldogs in a game once, and the
Yeah.
Morris twins decided to have a fake fight.
Yeah, that was good. I like
Yeah.
that. I guess
That
another...
was. But that's the thing. That was kind of scripted. So you kind of went, yeah, you know what? That's contrived, but it's for a bit of a laugh. So why not? But what we saw last night was that wasn't meant to be for a laugh, but it just tended to be the most pathetic thing. I almost found myself laughing at it.
Yeah, I agree. And like another interaction that jumps out at me was when Nathan Brown slapped Supercoach Trent Barrett. That was fucking hilarious. And the fact that Trent Barrett just stood there and took it like a bitch.
He did.
You know?
It's almost like he gave that look on his face of do it again.
Yeah, like it was. That was brilliant. That, and I guess the other interaction that was very strange was when Hopewadi was like up to the knuckle of a couple of players in tackles. That was also another very weird exchange between players. But
well, wasn't so much of an exchange. It was more of a pursuit from one player into another player.
That's true.
Like, what's he looking for? Car keys?
Yeah.
Why would you put them in there?
It's weird. I haven't put my car keys there for ages. It's just uncomfortable.
Well, yeah, it makes it hard to sit, that's for sure.
Yeah, maybe your phone, but not your car keys.
Well, phone's for, it's smart to put the phone up there, especially good on vibrate.
Yeah.
Getting
what
the
hell just happened?
Getting a bit blue. Getting a bit blue.
Yes.
Any other news you want to talk about, mate?
No.
No. Let's get on to the more impressive matters. The starting block.
Oh wow! I watched their show the other day, and they talked about our show for 15 minutes, and
far too much.
Yeah, it scared me because I realised that we had to do better than that. And I follow the Starting Bloc on Twitter. I follow both the Starting Bloc and Boogie Bumper, and I watch their shows. They come up on Periscope and on Twitter all the time. And by all the time, I mean like once a week. But Boogie Bumper's on a lot, actually. He's got some pretty cool shows. He's probably the only person in Australia that follows US politics more than I do. And so, yeah, it's fantastic. And everyone should follow both of them. Because if you need entertainment in your life, there's no better way than to get that entertainment from the Starting Bloc. Greeno and Boogie Bumper, they just nail it.
I agree. And I mean, should we do this? I've been thinking about doing this for a while. We talked about some comments they made on one of their episodes.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
So this is not from the last episode, but the one before.
Yeah.
God, I've got to remember the name of the episode now.
Yeah, I can look it up because I follow them. I've actually subscribed to them on my podcasting.
Well, see, I'm not actually looking at my computer, so I'm doing this all off the top of my head. And I've recited every single comment.
Oh, really? Okay.
So I've just got a few that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, the one before last was called Block Live.
That's it. Euro Block Live, something, wasn't it?
Well, we had the Euro Block, was on the 16th of May, and then the 23rd was Block Live, and then the last one was Guinea Pigs.
Okay.
I liked the one before that. It was called Quack, 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 Quack.
That was a classic. One of the best.
Yeah.
They constantly lift the bar. Good. Anyway, so a few of the quotes. So I've written down about, I don't know, a dozen.
Okay.
So we'll have a chat about it. So Greeno said he had a mate who called him up quickly on the finale of Game of Thrones and basically summarised the last 7 years in about a minute and a half. And I've never watched a second of Game of Thrones, but I know you do.
Ooh,
and I was wondering if this is a challenge that you'd be able to accept. Would you be able to summarise all of the Game of Thrones in a minute and a half or less, so that Greeno has to spend less time talking about Game of Thrones and more time doing his podcast?
It would be difficult. I could probably give it a try.
Oh, hang on. I'll put my stop clock on.
And do it. All right.
And I will stop it at a minute 30.
Okay. You got to tell me when I get to a minute 30. There's going to be spoilers. I'm going to spoil the whole thing.
Yeah, so ruin the hell out of it.
If you haven't heard Game of Thrones, if you haven't watched it, if you haven't watched the last episodes, probably stop listening now because I'm about to try and spoil it as best as I can.
Alrighty. Do you need any preparation time?
No. I'm just going to have to go for it. Okay,
I'll count you down from 3, mate. So you ready?
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so there's a crazy king with white hair. He has a couple of kids, and when the king gets killed by a blonde-haired dude called Lannister, the kids get sent off to a far-off land to survive. Anyway, enough about them. So Lannister, who kills the king, he ends up looking after the next king. They end up going north. This Lannister dude goes north, and it turns out he's banging his sister. Well, the King of the North's son sees this guy banging his sister, and they can't have that. So he throws the little boy called Bran off of a tower, and Bran, breaks his back, falls into a coma. Then everyone leaves, and they're wondering what happened to Bran. Anyway, Bran wakes up. He doesn't know what's happening, stuff like that. Meanwhile, the kids that have been sent off, the blonde-haired kids that have been sent off to a faraway land, they want to get back on the throne. The brother dies, long story. But the daughter, she's a teenager, I guess. She gets sold off to a warlord over there, and at the wedding, she gets 3 of these eggs. These eggs end up hatching into dragons, so now she's got 3 dragons. Her husband ends up dying. She ends up a little bit destitute. Anyway, she starts conquering people with these eggs and this idea that she should really be the one that's on top of the throne. So, anyway, back over to... Oh my goodness, are you serious? I can't do it in a minute and a half. Then I'm like in episode fucking 3. God, it's impossible. I can't do it. It's impossible.
Right. Well, I was going to say, who died in the end?
Who died in the end? Are you serious? Anybody that's listening to this, that's seen anything, that has heard that question is like, are you serious? I seriously, I think I'm up to episode 3 on season 1.
Jesus Christ.
I'm not even joking, yeah. Like, it's so in-depth. I haven't even spoiled anything that much.
Man.
Far out. I was really going for it too. Damn. Yeah, it's impossible. I'm sorry. It's impossible.
Well, thanks to Greeno's mate then for doing it in a minute and a half. We need a recording of that.
Yeah, I want to hear it. I think it's bullshit. There's no way.
Yeah, they need to do that. Maybe Greeno could explain it to us, given that he heard that and he never watched it. So I'm glad I've got something in common with Greeno. That makes me feel pretty bloody special, to be honest.
Yeah. Seriously, you should watch it. It's really good. It's the whole thing. Like, you start off and you're watching it, you're like, all right. Ooh, what the hell's this? All right, let's see okay. Okay. Wonder what happens next. What the hell? That can't happen. Oh, okay. Now I get it. Whoa, what the fuck? And just as a whole thing's like,
you could have just used that.
Maybe that's what I should have done. Let me try to do Game of Thrones in a minute and a half, just through reactions.
Yeah. You could have done it in 40 seconds.
Once again, I'm going to spoil it, but it's probably only spoiling it for people that have already seen it anyway. So I'm gonna. Alrighty, you ready? Give me a minute and a half, and I'm just going to do a minute and a half of Game of Thrones reactions throughout the series. Okay, you ready?
Okay, hang on. Let's get it back. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. Oh, okay. Whoa, that's a bit weird. Oh, okay. Oh, what happens next? Oh, ooh, okay. Oh, he's going to find out. What's he looking for? Yeah, he's going to tell them. Uh-oh, he's in trouble now. Yeah, nah. They did it. I thought it was all about him. Okay, what happens to the kids? Oh, that's interesting. All right, don't like him. He's a bit of a prick. Okay. All right. They're not happy now. They've heard about it now. All right. Bastard, hey? All right. What's this bullshit? I don't know. Looks pretty impressive. Okay. All right. Oh, there's stuff now. Bit of revenge going on. Oh, man. Ugly daughters, huh? Okay. What? Oh, what the hell happened? This is devastating. Holy crap. All right. So, now I don't know what this whole show's about anymore. Okay. Oh, man, these things are starting to get bigger now. Holy crap. She's starting to get a little bit of an ego on her, that too, as well. But, she's getting the job done. All right. Let's see what happens next. Whoa. Okay. I like this character. He's pretty cool. All right. And who the fuck's this bitch? What the fuck is she doing? She's got some weird ideas about stuff. All right. Okay. See what happens here. What? Where's this young kid going? Past the wall? What the fuck? How's he going to get past the wall? He can't walk. It's just going to drag him. All right. Oh, okay. Hold the door. Oh, that's where that comes from. All righty. Okay, so
5 seconds.
Oh, jeez, I'm not even halfway through it.
I didn't know if I was listening to your review of Game of Thrones or a review of a high-class pornography film. And you can listen back on this, and you'll hear what you just did in a very different light.
Okay. Yeah, what we should do, right, is we should get the recording of what I just did and just overlay it on all sorts of things. Like, you could overlay it on, like, porn.
The headbutt last night.
The headbutt last night, yeah, what the referee's decisions were last night. Like, overlay it on, like, a highlights reel of the TV show Different Strokes. Like, just all sorts of weird things. Highlighted over the news, just any news, That'd be funny.
Absolutely. All right, we'll move on from Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Because after that, they apologised for being late onto their Periscope feed there. And they said it had nothing to do with tardiness.
It
had everything to do with the fact that the internet cut out 3 times. Now, that's a governmental issue. The infrastructure is clearly not up to speed where they are.
That's true. I don't know where they are. I'm guessing they're in some sort of palace.
Well, I have to be, surely. What do you think would be a sufficient penalty for an internet provider or a government official responsible for not providing a strong, stable internet feed to Greeno's palace?
Well, I reckon that I think for a government like that would probably have to be, let's see, I don't know, maybe 2.5 years of, like, being led by Bill Shorten, I guess. That's what I'd go with.
Alrighty. So I was just thinking, bring back capital punishment.
Oh yeah, that too. That I could go with that.
That would be the minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how you make capital punishment as the minimum, but we'd have to find a way.
Yeah, the maximum's having to sit through a season of rugby union. That's the maximum.
Well, I'd say
it's like capital punishment.
Now, they went on to listen to us on a previous episode, talking about their episode on that episode they were just doing.
Yeah, and I liked that part of it because it was there was so many layers to it. It's like when you watch Deadpool.
And I think we are now going to add another layer to it.
Yeah.
So Boogie said, can I raise a question here? What we're doing is an analysis of their analysis of our show.
Mm-hmm.
And
so we're analysing his comments of the analysis of our show.
That's right. That's what we're going to do now. And so You said, which they replayed and analysed, we will fuck up our podcast doing this if we have to.
Yeah.
And I think that was a great quote, because you're pretty much saying straight away there that if us stuffing up our show to talk about the starting block would actually help people hear more about the starting block and even more of the starting block, then that's a good outcome for everybody.
I think so.
I mean, what would people prefer? Would they prefer to hear 2 episodes of us doing serious talk about stuff in the history and stuff going on in the game, or would they like to hear 2 episodes of the starting block every week? I mean, it's a no-brainer, really.
Yeah, I reckon 2 episodes of the starting block, or even like if we just turn this into a starting block review show where all we do is we talk about the starting block, and because they go for about an hour, if we could actually go longer than an hour, because it deserves that sort of treatment, because it is such a high quality program. I mean, they do editing and stuff. Not that they edit the live program, but they have intermissions and things like that.
Yeah, they've made their own ads.
Yeah, and
they've got music.
I mean, how do you even do that? I don't even know how to do that. Like, we just press record and then we press stop when we're finished.
That's the limit of our technical expertise.
Yeah, and do you remember when we first tried to work out how to do that? It took us a while.
Yeah. Where's the button?
Yeah.
That was the conversation for half an hour. Where's the button?
Where is it? How do we do this? And then when we got to the end, it's like, hang on, how do we stop this shit? Oh, good times. And that was like 2.5 months ago.
Yeah.
It's not like we're today. We've come so far since
then. Where's the button gone again? Where is it? Like it hasn't moved.
Yeah, it's still in the same place.
we are geniuses here.
Yeah.
Bruno then said that we were going to take an episode of our podcast to review their podcast.
Yeah.
Boogie replied, "Here's the thing, guys. If you're going to say it, you actually have to follow through with it." So, tick.
Yeah, and we will. And there's, like, we've got this review happening. We have more starting block events and that we've got planned. So this is just the beginning. Like, we're basically. You ever see the movie Single White Female?
Yes, quite a while ago.
Yeah, it's been a while for me too. We're basically the crazy bitch that was obsessed with the main chick, and that's our role in this. We're not going to try and supplant them because it's impossible, but like we do.
I was going to say, can I interrupt for 1 second?
Yeah.
For something really unique, I've got to go open the front door.
Okay.
You go keep talking.
Okay, yeah, okay. So basically, that's a new one. So basically, our role is going to be to, like, try and emulate them in as many ways as we possibly can in an effort to almost, like, be them. It's almost the Buffalo Bill scenario. We want to wear their skin a little bit, you know? We want to see what it's like to be like them. So that's what we're aiming for. Now, this is where it gets a little bit weird because Andrew's gone and it's just you lot and me. Oh, Andrew's back. Ah, thank God. It almost got a little bit creepy there, Andrew.
It's all right. I thought you could get by without me.
Yeah.
Now, they said that their management was on board to hire someone to listen to the show and count the number of minutes where we spoke about them.
Yeah. And
now, I was wondering, should we help them out by recording this information for them? Or should we do the right thing by their management and let someone else do this job? And perhaps we should see if we can get someone, or maybe it's the same person, to count how many minutes the starting block is mentioned on the starting block.
Well, I mean, we do have our first intern. I think they're actually sleeping out back still at the moment. It was a cold night last night, so they've slept in a little bit. But we could get our intern to do it for them because, like, our budget is basically saved for, like, the golden microphones that we got. We needed them. It's like, you know, we're not gonna talk into like a normal microphone. They've got to be gold plated, and the important things like that. and we tend to skimp a little bit on how much we're willing to pay anybody to do anything else. So, we could.
When you say skimp, you mean we just hire volunteers, whether they want to be or not.
Yeah, it's like it'd be like if a website went to somebody that provided statistics and said, "Look, we will give you exposure. It'll look good on your resume." That sort of thing. Yeah. So we're sort of in that area of the game. We don't want to actually pay you for your time, but we'll allow you to work for us for free as a bonus.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah,
it's the best we're willing to offer, given what we have to offer.
Yeah.
One of the last quotes I found there was Grinner said, "Buzzer's on one of these shows, but we found someone worse, Paul Crawley." Possibly the most correct thing anyone's ever said. Can you think of anything that anyone said that's more correct than that?
No. It's just I agree with the sentiment
entirely. It's impossible not to agree with it entirely.
Pretty much, yeah.
That shows the level of intellect, insight, nous that these guys have.
Unmatched nous.
It's next level.
Yeah, and I called it nous, not nous. Is it nous or nous?
Nous. It rhymes with mouse.
It rhymes with mouse.
Yeah.
House.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay. Nous. Nous sounds dumb, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Nous.
That sounds like something Paul Crawley would probably write.
Nous. Yeah.
to further emphasise the point.
How is that contract going for Moses going to Brisbane, by the way, on like 1.6 million, I've heard?
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's going up all the time.
Is that per year or per game? They got the cash now that Roberts has left.
Yeah, who knows by the time the bloody Eels re-sign him, hey? Could be anything.
Imagine how bad we're all going to look if it does actually go through him.
I know.
Brisbane.
Yeah. If he goes to Brisbane on like the richest deal, everyone will be like, whoa, apology show coming up.
Come out and do a Paul Crawley is the greatest commentator ever won.
Yeah. No.
And that burner account will come back saying, Told ya. Yeah, I'm confident that won't happen. So yeah, that was a quick analysis of their show from a few weeks ago, because it's keeping informed, because they were talking about doing comments from an old episode on a future episode that were going to be a week late as well. So we thought we'd keep up that being behind the times process as well, because they're trendsetters.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously when we do our live show, which will be on Twitter, on Wednesday leading into State of Origin, the 1 hour leading into State of Origin, live Periscope / Twitter show. You'll be able to literally go onto your Twitter and just watch us straight away. There's no anything. You just watch us easily through Twitter. We'll obviously talk about the starting block pretty much for the hour. I mean, the State of Origin.
Yeah. And just go to @FergoFreakPod. It'll be on there.
Yeah.
Pardon me. That's our new Twitter account for the current podcast. We're actually up to 40 people who are following us on there.
Yeah, another 27 people, and we officially passed the attendance of the Sydney Roosters. So we're going well.
That's pretty tidy.
Yeah, and they took 100+ years to get to there. It's only taken us, a week and a half since having that open. So we're doing pretty good.
To be honest, though, I credit that entirely down to the fact that the starting block followed us.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just more of an outlet to get updates about the starting block, really.
Pretty much. Yeah, they joined up and followed us, and their entourage followed suit.
Yeah, and that they followed us, and they gave us the privilege of letting them know how good the starting block was.
Exactly. Now, just seeing if we've had any comments on the Twitter page there at all.
Yep.
Apart from you and me. That's the sound of me scrolling through them all. Okay. Um, doesn't look like it. I sent out a tweet on there asking people if they could give us some comments about the starting block.
Yeah.
That they'd like us to read out.
Yeah.
And
lots of retweets, no comments.
9 retweets, 7 likes, and 1 comment from Stefan Sears.
Yeah.
He says, Granny Sears approves this message.
Okay. I didn't see that one.
I'm pretty happy that Granny Sears does.
Yeah, thank God.
So that's pretty. Thanks, Granny Sears, and thanks, Stefan Sears. Fantastic. But yeah, no one else made a comment when that was exactly the question we asked.
Can I just say, Granny Sears? God, it does it for me, hey? Like, something about her. Just, I don't know, I'm just saying.
I like her tastefully applied makeup.
Yeah, it's like, it's in the butter zone. It's kind of between like, like at the extreme end, I fell into a bag of makeup, and at the lower end would be like whore, and it's between those two, and it's just that's where I like it.
I can't argue with it. I think you summed it up perfectly.
Yeah.
So there was a few retweets there, but that was pretty much it. No one decided to get more involved in it than that. So
I guess it's hard to really explain how good it is in those few words that Twitter allows these days. I mean, you really need sort of like a book to write about how good they are. And I think it was wise for people to just sort of be like, look, I can't take that responsibility on to talk about how good the starting block is. Because how do you get it across?
I don't know. See, this is the thing. I mean, I wrote a bloody book. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
So, come on, people. Put some effort in.
Come on now.
We started a podcast just to talk about them.
I once read a book. A bit of it.
Yeah, I only read books that help me do what I want to do. I got to that point in my life where I don't read books where I need an imagination. I just want to learn stuff. So I've become an old bastard. Not wasting my time with nonsense. I want to learn stuff.
Yeah, see, I'm the same. Like, I like to read pamphlets for that reason. It's like, okay, that's how it's transmitted. Right. What the fuck?
Don't know where this is going.
Just for the record, I've never had any problems like that.
Bit late for that message.
I know. Sometimes you say something as a joke, and then you just let it sit there for a little bit, and then you think, yeah, that's going to make me sound really bad.
Yeah, I was just let that stew for a little while. See when you come up with.
Yeah, it deserved it.
Yeah, we've had a good old chat here about the starting block. People, please go on to Twitter. Go to @thestartingblock. Drop the K at the end.
No K.
Give them a follow. Definitely no K. Give them a follow. Listen to them every week. They've decided, for some obscene reason, to not do an episode next Wednesday, and they've basically requested that we do one in their place, and that is so much pressure. We've only been around for 10 weeks.
Yeah.
This is like let's see, Cameron Smith coming up to Brandon Smith and says, "Okay, I want you to now go and be the next immortal next week."
Yeah, and what's he supposed to do? It's a lose-lose situation, really. I mean, it's impossible.
How do you live up to that sort of hype with such a short turnaround, and especially given our limited capabilities?
Yeah, the fact that we're not good at this really hampers us a little bit.
Immensely. So, look, we're going to have a crack at it. We're and at worst, we will just we'll just keep talking about the starting block at worst, because that'll be our only saving grace. That's our backup plan.
Yeah, it's basically all I want to do anyway, leading into even Origin. Like, I just want to do that.
I can't argue. I mean, I'm starting to realise now how hard it is for people to have responded to that tweet. I'm sitting there with all these things I'd like to say, but I don't even think I've got the vocabulary yet to understand what I want to say.
Yeah. It's more of a feeling in your chest.
That's the reason why I turned it into my religion.
It's
a belief.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm waiting for the next census to come around so I can put it on there.
Yeah, and I'm sure that they will.
Well, it makes more sense than Jedi. I mean, Jedi doesn't even exist.
No, not that I've seen anyway. I mean, I've tried to move things with my thoughts and it just doesn't work.
Well, yeah, we'll move forward. Where this is going to be one hell of an entertaining episode for everyone else.
Yeah, it's probably ended about 15 minutes ago anyway.
As you can tell, we're really happy with the starting block. They really are much better at this than what we are, but we're going to persist because we feel we have to. And we're trying to learn stuff along the way.
Yeah.
In the meantime, thanks for the comments. Thanks for liking us on YouTube and subscribing on there. The numbers have been going up really well, which has been great. Thanks for subscribing and giving us those 5-star ratings on iTunes. We've had a few come in over the last few days, which has been bloody brilliant. So 5 stars to you people. Keep that going on. Yeah. Pretty happy with everything on there. Make sure you go and follow us on Twitter at Ferg Freak Pod.
Virgo Freak Pod, yeah.
Yeah, I said that somewhere. Surely. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
And follow us on Facebook. We're on there too. There's no way you can go without seeing us anywhere.
Yeah, we're everywhere. It's like I was putting together a banner to go on my website about the podcast, and there was just so many logos. I had to leave logos out of companies that are carrying the podcast, and it was just crazy. So, if you're listening to us now, you know where to get us anyway. So.
Exactly. And I apologise for my role in the back half of this episode because I am quite ill.
Yeah. You're sick.
I'm going to dine out on that to excuse my poor performance.
Mm-hmm. Well, it happens. They can't all be winners.
I feel like I'm about 6 minutes away from falling off into a deep coma.
Oh, jeez.
So yes, thanks everyone for tuning in, and we're going to be on Wednesday before Origin.
Yep.
So if there's anything you want to talk to us about, and if you want to mention, if you just want your name mentioned, get onto our Twitter there, Virgo Freak Pod. I got it right that time, and send us a message on there of what you want us to talk about, or that you just want to have a shout out. Let us know. We'll do it.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be great, and everyone likes hearing their name. You're standing there, it's like someone yells out your name, you're like, oh, someone's recognised me, or
I'm famous.
The judge tells you to stand before they give you your sentence, stuff like that.
That's right. So, and look, you got a choice between a current affair or us. I mean, it's not even a hard decision to make.
Pretty simple choice, really.
Just in case you need confirming, it's us.
Yeah, please.
Catch us next Wednesday.